It's June 2025. Let's talk real estate and what's going on in the market so far this year. Inventory is exploding and sales are declining. Sellers are listing in droves. The buyers are sitting on the sidelines and waiting for prices to drop before they jump in. Buyers believe the longer they wait, the better the prices they'll get, and we have entered into a buyer's market in most cases. So what am I seeing in the market right now? Starter and lower priced homes are still selling. So we're talking about the lower end of the market, so between $450 and $700. Some of them are fixer-uppers, some are move-in ready, but they're smaller homes and they're in the rural areas. Those are still going, and in some cases in multiples. For example, I've got buyers looking in that rural property area in the $500 to $550 budget, and they're having a hard time. There were two properties that they were interested in putting an offer in. Both of them sold. They were listed at $499. One was $489, and they both sold for $550 and $555 in multiples. The one they were really interested in had 9 offers on it, and it sold firm at $555. They're in a tough spot right now because they still have a house to sell, and they are waiting to find something before they list. They don't want to list their house till they have an accepted offer on something, but nobody wants to consider accepting an offer on them because they haven't sold their house. For instance, I know of a house that was listed up in Port Hope area. They ended up with 3 offers. They were listed for $599. 2 of the offers were over ask, but unfortunately, both of them still had to sell their house, and the seller ended up refusing the offers and putting the house back on the market for a higher price. So if you're looking in the Durham area and the lower prices in the starter homes in that $500 to $700 range, in most cases they are still going in multiples. Some of them have started pricing at market and taking offers anytime, but in most cases even then they're going fairly quickly. So that is still a pretty hot market to be in. When you get to the mid-range, which is kind of over that 700 to 900 homes, they are still selling slower. So most of them are not doing the offer dates because that's not working out so well for them. Some are, but most are pricing it at market and taking offers anytime. And that usually, within 30 days they're sold if they're priced right and at market and somewhat flexible. We are seeing that if you're overpriced, expect that you're going to sit on the market. That's just the way it goes. It is a buyer's market, and you are going to be in a position that if you are overpriced, you're going to sit. Even if you're priced too high in the rural areas, you're still going to sit. And if you price it too high and do offers, you're just not going to see anything. That's just the way it's going right now. That's in the Durham and outskirt area. Cottage country is a different market. Before COVID, it was a buyer's market. So I started selling in cottage country on my own in 2011. And my sister, who also sells real estate in the Durham area, we'd compare notes, and she would be like, "Oh, I've got 2 listings. How many do you have?" And I'd be like, "I've got, 14 listings." Wow, you're just rocking it. And I'm like, yeah, it's the same 14 listings I had last month. If I'm lucky, I might do 1 or 2 deals out of those 14 listings in 1 month, because that's just the way the market goes. Even when things are priced right, they take time to sell. There are less people out there looking for waterfront homes and land and cottages. That's just the market. That being said, during the lockdown between 2020 and 2022, there was a bit of a swarm, especially in 2020 and 2021. We started to see multiple offers and more buyers out this way. The reason was because during the lockdowns, most could work from home. In most cases, some of them wanted to be outside of the city. They wanted isolation from the crowds for safety reasons. They felt that if they lived outside of the city, there'd be less exposure and they'd be safer. Cottages were more affordable than homes. So for instance, if you lived in the Belleville area, You might get a home for $300,000, but you could just live north of Madoc, 45 minutes to an hour from Belleville, for $110,000 for a similar house. So it was a cheaper market to be in. And you were in a position during COVID that you might have been only working in the office 1 or 2 days a week, or not at all. We also saw the Toronto and Durham swarm up into the cottage area for that reason, especially nowadays where the cottage country does have more services. They have cell phone service, plus they have internet services, so you could work from home theoretically. Back in 2020, 2021, we were seeing a much stronger market out in cottage country. We were seeing multiple offers, cash offers, quick sales. We also knew it was a bit of a seller's market, so sellers were pricing their properties accordingly and going into a little under market so they would get multiple offers and it would sell quickly. That's changed. 2022, we saw things slide down, and now we're seeing more people have gone back to work. They're no longer working from home. A lot of companies have demanded that they go back to regular hours, so they've kind of abandoned their cottages and the rural properties and have started selling those properties and moving back to the city. And nowadays, because the COVID scare is kind of quieted down, being isolated is no longer a benefit, so they've all gone back to the city. And of course, gas prices we know have gone up, and being isolated and having everything a drive, it became a little more expensive too. So it made more sense for them to sell, or at least reduce their amount of time up in cottage country, which has slowed down the market. So today we're back to a buyer's market in cottage country. It's been like that for the last year or two. I wouldn't say prices have dropped, but they've definitely flatlined, and it's taking longer and longer for things to sell up there. In some cases, I'm seeing new listings come up right now that were the same listings that were for sale in 2024, and even some of them were for sale in 2023. So some of the sellers haven't quite got the memo, and they're still priced a little too high, but we are seeing sales out there. But it's definitely pre-2020 as opposed to during COVID sales. So what does this all mean? Well, June 4th, we will hear from the Bank of Canada if they're planning to do another rate cut or not. So at the time of making this video, it's before June 4th, so I can't tell you how that's going to go. But the bottom line is it can only do so much. And if they don't cut, well, we can expect to see about the same. Up until 2022, we were on a rise, and you can only go so high before things start to flatline and level out. What goes up must come down, but what's going down must eventually come up too. I will say that if you're thinking about buying and you're sitting on the fence, don't wait too long, because what often happens is all the buyers wait and then they all jump into the market at once, and it becomes a feeding frenzy, and they end up pushing the market back up. You want to jump into the market before the rest of the buyers jump in, not when the rest of the buyers jump in. So you're still in a position that you're not going to be chasing multiple offer situation. You want to be the only buyer putting in an offer, not one of 10. And if y'all sit on the sidelines and wait till the same time to jump in, you're all going to be jumping in with multiple offers, and the sellers are going to end up getting the better deal than the buyers. I will say, if you're in a position where you've got a home that's in that $500,000 to $700,000 range, and you're looking to upgrade, this would be the time to jump in, because those lower end homes, I say lower end, 500 to 700 is lower end. Those lower end homes are selling fairly quickly and steady, so you can price things so you get multiples. And you're also in a position, if you're looking to upgrade and you're looking to the 700 to 900, even to the million, you're less likely to be fighting with other buyers on offer day for those. So you're kind of in that good area where you're selling at the right time and buying at the right time. If you would like more information on the market, or you'd like to know what your current home is worth and you're thinking about making a move, please call me, text me, or message me. It's Linda Brumbill, Remax Jazz.